After Josh Reynolds, I think it's Chester Rogers and Marcus Johnson sort of neck and neck. I'd put Rogers at 4 just because I think he's a better slot, and I think that his punt returning in terms of getting him on the roster probably puts him a step ahead of Marcus Johnson. But at this point, Marcus Johnson is better than Racey McMath. Marcus Johnson is better than Des Fitzpatrick. He's better than Nick Westbrook-Akina, and he's better than Cameron Batson. And those are 4 guys that I think we were all looking at to be contributors at wide receiver. And it's a problem, I think, especially with Fitzpatrick, that they're not. But it's also a good problem because part of the reason they're so far down is that Johnson has been the standout player, arguably, of camp, along with Rodgers. And I think it's tough with Des Fitzpatrick because I don't think you can cut a 4th-round draft pick. But right now, he's not one of the best 6 or 7 receivers on this team. I mean, I'd just about take my chances with Nick Westbrook-Akina before I would with Des Fitzpatrick. And that's going to create an interesting problem for them. But to actually lay out the depth chart, if Josh Reynolds is 3, I'm going to do Chester Rogers 4, Marcus Johnson at 5, and then at 6, I'm going to go with Racey McMath because of his special teams ability. And then Des Fitzpatrick probably would fall at 7.
And so do they keep 7 wide receivers? And that's because that's been a topic for the last, week and a half, 2 weeks of camp, is that it makes a lot of sense to keep 7 wide receivers. Because if you cut Des, here's how this works. Because in order for you to get to the 53-man roster, you've got to cut everybody to get to 53. Then you have to wait for waivers to happen because other teams can claim anybody who was cut off of waivers. Then after that process, you start adding to your practice squad.
Yeah.
And so if Des Fitzpatrick is not one of your top 5 wide receivers, you really have to think, like, if you cut Des Fitzpatrick, is somebody going to come take him away for their active roster?